Hey guys, I am Nurse D Porche, and if you're new to this channel, here on this channel, we discuss all things nursing, health, and finances. And so, as you can tell from the title of this video, we're getting into some tips that I want to share on how to navigate nursing like a pro. Now, I first want to say thank you to all of the DP fam. DP stands for Destiny Pursuers, who took out time to vote on the topic that you all wanted to see. And so this was the highest voted topic. And so we're going to get into some tips. First, I want to get into why I'm sharing this information and what I've learned over the years. So I've worked in a few areas in nursing, ranging from home health. I worked in dialysis. I've also worked in the hospital. I've worked in case management. And so currently I work from home as a medical review nurse for an insurance company. And this is more so where I thought I would be in retirement stages, but I took strategic steps to ultimately land here. It just happened a little bit sooner than I thought. And so I'm going to share some things that I've learned over the 9 years of being a nurse, some things that I learned just going through the process, and some things that I've actually learned from other nurses. And so I'm going to share it as much as I can in these topics I'm going to mention. So let's get into it. So number one, start with the ending in mind. And so the very first thing would be the decision to become a nurse. Some people factor in job stability, the amount of money that you make as a nurse to really drive home the decision to become a nurse. But I really want you to take into consideration your entire career of being a nurse. You want to take into stress factors. There's a lot of stressful situations that present themselves as a nurse. There is a spiritual component. And so I truly believe this is just Nurse D Porche's thoughts. This is not in a textbook anywhere. You can't find this on Google. This is just my thoughts. But I do believe that those who are nurse and who remain a nurse have a different heart posture. And what do I mean by that? I mean that they truly have a heart to care for people. They truly have a heart to love people. And so there's not an amount of money that can pay for that. There's other areas inside and outside of nursing in which you can get paid the same amount of money and you don't have the stress level, you don't have the caring and empathy component of nursing. Sometimes I have found myself in situations where nursing, judgment and ethical and spiritual components kind of come against each other. And so you know yourself better than anyone else in the world. And so you have to kind of weigh, am I at a place in life where I can deal with a higher stress load? Am I at a place in life where I can truly care for people in the way that they deserve to be cared for with my position? Can I do this? Because you'll be in a position where you have to make decisions. And so job security and financial is one component. It's very important, but there's other components to consider when making the decision to become a nurse. Also, you want to consider school. When you've made the decision, okay, yes, I want to become a nurse. Now it's time to pick your school. You want to pick a school that you can afford. You don't want your school choice to be factored on emotions. You don't want your school choice to be something that is like, I need something right now. You want to think in the long run, am I making the right decision with this school that I'm going to pick? Because I talk to so many people, I've mentored so many people, I have friends who have so much in student loans that they regret going the route that they took to get their nursing degree. I don't regret what I did, right? Who would if you got 4 nursing degrees debt free? I literally did not have student loans for nursing at all. And so I don't regret anything that I did as far as school with nursing. But you have people that's like, man, I owe $100,000 and I'm making X, Y, Z. They regret that decision. And so being in a haste and maybe letting emotions, oh, well, such and such went to this college, and so I'm going to pick this school. No, like I don't want to be waiting to get selected for the program. I hear that there's such a hard selection process. Do not let any of these things drive home the decision. You need to factor what you can afford. If you can afford a community college, if you don't have money to, once you finish nursing school, to be thinking about $100,000 student loan, because you will feel the impact. You're going to be happy. And after you get that degree and all of the emotions calm down, you're going to be faced with that $100,000 or however much money of student loans that you use to get through this program. So I would say with picking a school, you also want to factor in the time that it will take to complete the program. So you definitely want to start with the ending in mind. That's very, very important, because ultimately you will be the one dealing with the consequence of making the decision to become a nurse and making the decision of the school that you will attend to become a nurse. So you definitely want to make sure that you're starting with the end goal in mind, which kind of sounds opposite, but you'll learn in the nursing world, ending is actually starting in a lot of places, right? When you have an admission at the hospital, your goal is to work towards discharge upon admission. And so you'll learn that this is an ongoing process through nursing, is to start with the end goal. Now, the last little tip that I'll add with starting for the end goal in mind is your career. And so once becoming a nurse, don't just take any job that you can as a new grad. You want to, especially if you are an older nurse, you want to start with your end goal in mind. Where do you want to see yourself upon retirement as a nurse? Yes, you want to start thinking about that when you first become a nurse. I don't care what age you are, but mostly if you are an older nurse, you definitely want to start with the end goal, because there are strategic movements that can help lead you to where you want to be in the nursing field. And what I mean by that is, I was strategic when I was working as a hospice nurse and home. I was strategic to go into the hospital and gain the skills that I needed to eventually work from home as a nurse. And so that's what I mean by beginning your career with the end goal in mind. Where do you, everybody doesn't, the goal is not to work from home for everyone. But if that is your goal, you want to be strategic with your moves to get there. And so that's what I mean by starting with the end goal as far as your career. So I gave you 3 points to think about with starting with the end in mind, which is making the decision, the school choice, and your career. Number 2, I will say, it sounds a little cliche, but I would say remember your why. A lot of times people enter into the field of nursing from either a bad experience or a good experience. In my experience, I had both bad and good that really made me want to become a nurse. I remember giving birth to my last child and me really thinking like, oh my God, are these angels? Because I had such great nurses taking care of me after I gave birth, and I will literally never forget that experience as long as I live. And so even working as a nurse, I've come across some of the it brings tears to my eyes just thinking of how great these nurses truly are and their heart posture towards taking care of their patients. And so remember your why. This is something that is going to carry you through careers. This is something that is going to carry you through decisions, those really difficult challenges in the field. So I just want you to, this is a great tip, because sometimes we lose sight. Sometimes there's so many things going on in the field and so many things we're hearing and just a lot of challenges that you will come across. And so I just wanted to remind you to remember your why in the field. This is a really important tip with navigating nursing like a pro, is to remember your why. And number 3, value your community. This is super important. My community of nurses are filled with friends, family members, people that I was with in the nursing program. So once you start, remember that these are some people that you may be in touch with for your entire life and through your entire journey of nursing. These are people that you are going to constantly lean on. These are people who are going to lean on you. It becomes a very solid community. People that you meet on the job. Don't be the type of person that, I don't want to talk to nobody about my business. My business is my business. I'm not da 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 da. While I'm not saying talk to everybody and tell everybody everything about you, you really have to be protective with the information and only allow certain ones in. You don't want to be closed off to other nurses, because my life has been changed from community positions. There's been nurses who talked to managers on my behalf and got me jobs. There has been nurses that have helped me make better decisions with patients in nursing. There has been nurses who prayed for me. There has been nurses who really just sold into my life. And so I truly value community. Even on social media, I've met some amazing nurses on even social media. And so I would say value your nursing community. I still have teachers that I even talk to from the nursing program. And so really, truly value your community, because in one way or another, they are going to just help you to really be a great nurse and to really get into the area of nursing that you really want to. They're going to help you with information. They're going to help you with jobs, leads. They're going to help you with business, all type of things. I can just attest to so many nurse relationships that has really impacted my life. So I would definitely say value community in nursing. And number 4, I will say invest in where you want to be. Now, this is not only nursing, this is even outside of nursing. But as we're talking within nursing, I've just met so many nurses that have taught me information, books that I have read and purchased, just taking time to have lunch with people, talking about, these are all investments. Invest in time that it takes to build relationships, solid relationships in nursing, and invest in like the course, invest in the book. Now I know there's so many courses and ebooks and all the things in the world right now that you're kind of like, are they doing this to just make a penny? Read what the course is about. Look at the reviews of the course and figure out if it is worth the investment. For example, there's a nurse that I am affiliated with her courses because I found that her information is truly valuable. I in her courses and I see the value that's in it, and I'm just like, it's so worth the price. Even my courses that I offer, there's one nurse who took the course for the BSN. I even made a YouTube video about it. I'll put it here so you guys can check it out if you want to. But she purchased my course for like $150, and she ended up getting her bachelor's degree in 3 months free. So was the investment worth the outcome? It definitely was. So don't be afraid to invest in yourself, rather that be a course, rather it be a book to read to make yourself better in the field, rather whatever the situation be, a lunch date, rather it be going to a networking event for nurses, whatever the case may be, invest in yourself. You will never regret investing in yourself. Learning a new skill, you'll never regret investing in monetary means, right? Like, so like your retirement accounts or anything like that. Never be afraid to invest in yourself. Whether it be with me, her, whoever you find valuable to you. Everyone's situation is very different, but I just want to encourage you to invest in yourself, because I read a book one time. It's called Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy, and it changed my life. So he talks about the 3% rule and investing 3% of your salary each year back into yourself and the life-changing outcomes that it brings. I can attest that it actually does work. And that's something that I want to leave with you, because as you're moving through nursing, different careers, if you want to invest in your education, furthering your education in nursing, all of these are investments that you can't go wrong with. And so I am a very strong advocate in investing in yourself. All right, and the very last but not least tip, number 5, is do not compare yourself with other nurses in the field. Everyone's journey is different. This is in nursing and outside of nursing. We find ourselves as human beings wanting to compare, and comparison is the thief of joy. You have a purpose that your nurse friend or your nurse sister next to you do not. They have a totally different purpose. And so nobody can define nursing. Nobody can define that purpose for you. Nobody can determine where you're supposed to be. And so I found myself kind of comparing initially with salaries and different things. I'm like, oh, this one is doing travel nursing. Maybe I should do travel nursing. Oh, this one is working from home. Maybe I should work from home. Oh, this one is doing this. Everybody's life is different, right? I have 3 children. So doing travel assignments wouldn't be really something that I could do with my life right now. And if I sat with that and really just thought about it, is it something that I desire to do? It isn't. Even while I'm working from home, I told another nurse that I also volunteer in hospice because that's my heart posture, right? I have a heart for the field. And so even though I'm not working in the field, me being a volunteer still allows me to visit with patients and do what I feel my purpose is to do. And so I was told that I was crazy. Girl, you are crazy. Why would you do that? And I had to really sit with myself with that and say, okay, just because this person feels this way, that's not their purpose. That's not their calling. That's not where they feel they have to be. And so it is okay to have your own route, your own destiny, your own decisions in the field that is not impacted or by anything else or anyone else. And so do not let comparison knock you down. just to really drive it home, again, comparison is the thief of joy. Do not let someone else's path determine your own or where you should be within the field. That is one tip that I hold with me very dear to my heart, because I do feel that we're all called to different areas of nursing. And I think that is super cool that we are called to different, because you imagine if all of us were walking in the same line with nursing, it wouldn't work, because some people are touched to be a pediatric nurse. Some people are really gifted to be a hospice nurse. Some people are really truly gifted to work in ICU. Some people are gifted to work in the ER. Some people are gifted to do what they are called to do. We are not all going to fit into one little box. And that's what I absolutely love about nursing, is that if you don't fit into this little box over here, guess what? There's other little boxes everywhere else that you are going to find where you fit into, and you will find your purpose in nursing. And so I just love that there's so many different areas within nursing. There's so many things that you can do. And so while I've discussed so many things for you to consider with navigating nursing like a pro, you're not left alone. And so if you still need help, you need help with kind of navigating this whole space. I talked a lot about choosing the right school. I talked a lot about making the decision. I have mentored people who have come to me thinking that they wanted to be a nurse, and they left my meeting with saying, thank you so much, because now I realize that nursing is actually not where I'm supposed to be. I'm here for that too. God has placed it on my heart to just help people in all areas of nursing, rather it not even be an area of nursing at all. I helped a lot of people find the right school that worked for them and their budget, right? That's so important. And so I offer a few services. If you are interested, I offer mentorship, and I've created a few ebooks and courses to just help you navigate nursing like a pro. I will definitely keep the videos coming. Please let me know, you guys, in the comments if any of this was helpful, if you relate to any of this information in this video, and let me know what decision you are going to make today to navigate nursing like a pro. Like and subscribe, and I promise you guys I will keep them coming. I love you. Bye-bye.